Hello, bonjour. It's me, Valerie, back to being found in France. Serendipity is one of my favourite words, and I'm also a great believer in destiny. So, when a positive combination of circumstances came together last week, it prompted me to get the camera out again and bring you along on a little adventure in Agde just down the road. So, follow me to see what unfolds. With time to spend in Agde the other day, I decided to revisit the cathedral, which is a very unusual building made out of local volcanic rock. It's been 5 years since I was last inside the cathedral, which was sadly for the funeral service of my partner Pierre. This time I felt ready to admire the stained glass windows and other architectural elements in a much more positive and appreciative light. While I was inside the cathedral, I had the unexpected pleasure of meeting the archpriest, Pierre, and some visiting priests from the equivalent of lords in Poland. And on the spur of the moment, I was allowed the privilege of joining them to climb the 164 steps up the tower, which is normally off limits. This is just the sort of impromptu mini-adventure that I love. Well, this is a surprise because I was sitting in the cathedral and the priest came along, spoke to another priest who was visiting and let us come up the tower. And there's 164 steps, so it's quite hard. But we're currently in the bell tower. Look at this. Here we are at the top. What privilege to be allowed to come up here. It got really windy at this point, so here we are overlooking the rooftops, and that is Mont Saint-Loup in the background, the old volcano. And up on the roof there are also some bees. Thankfully they were dormant. Then overlooking the River Ero and the beautiful Villa Laurence. And ahead there is the Canal du Midi. That's the River Ero still. And a quick final view before we headed back down again. Moving on from my little cathedral adventure, let me show you some of the reasons why I think Agde has got lots of reasons to become something very special, and it's on the cards. Floating restaurants here. Ooh, repainted.
Merci. Bonjour madame.
Bonjour. Like in Italy. Just as well I brought my car to the garage today because it's the windscreen wiper engine that needs fixing, and I think I'm going to need it today. Look at that bougainvillea. Ooh, it looks almost unreal. Come out onto a pontoon over the river here because I spotted the jousting boats, which will be coming into action this week. Very local tradition. If you can see Ville d'Agde on the side there. Like I say, there's so much potential here. I can't really understand why it hasn't been, well, partly due to the ousted mayor that hasn't invested enough in the town. I've just seen something that makes me think of one of the channels that I follow. It's Tracy of Life in the Wild West. It always says peace and love. This road is called Rue Basse, Low Road. Maybe it should be called Rue Étroite, Narrow Road. And she is Amphitrite, goddess of the sea. But the story didn't end after coming home, because coincidentally there's been lots of news coverage this week about the rejuvenation of the main square in Agde, with 50 new requests and 20 already newly established shops and eateries, with the high street finding new life after so many of the lovely little shops have been closed and abandoned. It makes me so happy to see that this old town is finding new life, because I've always thought it could be so beautiful. So here's to new life in Agde. Vive l'ancienne ville d'Agde. I hope you enjoyed our little trip together, and I'll see you soon. Au revoir. Oops, I nearly forgot. Please subscribe and like. Thanks, bye.